my goodness. I am so happy to see you all. What a wonderful, wonderful morning. Ayakwi, Neknau, Amy Bowers Cordalis, Nuwak Rekwoy, Numite Wa, Wak Lao, Wak Lao, Wak Lao. Thank you to the Bioneer Conference organizers for having me. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this beautiful Saturday morning. I want to acknowledge that there's someone very special in the audience, Judge Abby Abenante. Woohoo, that's right. She is a Yurok tribal member and the first woman to be, actually Indigenous woman, to be barred to practice law in California. Yeah. She and many Indian people in her generation blazed the trail that has led us to the kind of story I'm going to discuss today. So thank you, Judge. I love you dearly. So, all right. On my home waters on the Klamath River in Northern California, 6 hours from here, north, and that is still California, we are engaged in the largest river restoration project in history. 2025 is year zero, the first year after a revolutionary change in the Klamath system. The removal of 4 dams in 2024 facilitated by a $515 million settlement agreement that equally values the rights of nature, indigenous peoples, and businesses, signed by 2 tribes, several NGOs, Oregon and California, and a power company. Thank you. Historically, the Klamath was the 3rd largest salmon-producing river in the lower 48 states. It is Indian country, top to bottom. And I am from the very mouth of the river. You can see Yurok country, so at the northern side of the mouth of the river, from a village called Rekwoy, where my family has been there since the beginning of time. But through time, the basin has been colonized and developed. Now, the Klamath supports the Klamath Reclamation Project, one of the largest reclamation projects in the country, and it used to support a hydroelectric project that included 4 dams in the mid-Klamath region. And on this slide, you can see where those dams are. In 2002, the colonization of the river took a toll. The Klamath River suffered from the largest fish kill in American history, in which 70,000 adult salmon died on the Klamath River. The fish kill was caused by excessive diversions for agriculture at the top of the river, made at the order of the then Vice President Dick Cheney over the objection of federal scientists. The move was an act of ecocide against my people. I was working for tribal fisheries then, and I will never forget the salmon's dead bodies lining the banks of the river, 3 to 4 layers deep, and it smelled like a war zone. Observing these fish, standing on a boat, I felt my great-grandmother go through me, and I felt her tell me I needed to do something about it. And so I decided to go to law school to try to devote my life force to preventing this kind of act of ecocide and harm to my culture from ever happening again. I headed to Colorado for law school, and then came back as the tribe's general counsel. Sadly, by 2016, single-digit percentages of the salmon runs on the Klamath River were left. The river was sick, polluted, and so were the indigenous peoples. At Yurok, we have a myth. If the salmon go away on the Klamath, so too will the Yurok people. We had to save our river and ourselves. We launched a movement to undam the Klamath that led to one of the world's largest dam removal projects in history. So, it is difficult to conceive of the massive scale of Klamath dam removal without seeing it for yourself. And I encourage you all to come visit us and see us. And a lesson I learned from working with Yurok elders is that to create change, you have to see it. You have to believe in it first. And for many Indigenous leaders on the Klamath, they had the audacity to be the first to call for dam removal because they had heard stories from their elders about what the river was like pre-colonization, pre-dams. They could see it. So revolution starts with a change in consciousness. And before I share more details about dam removal, I want to shift our collective consciousness about what we believe is possible. I want us to see more. So to do this, I'm going to guide us through a meditation, and I'm hoping you all will just dive into that like good energy that was developed with all those drummings, and we will just keep channeling that as we go. So this video that you're going to see is from the first salmon returning back to spawning grounds they hadn't been to in 100 years. Yeah, so this is it, guys. All right, so for our meditation, please start by putting your hand on your heart and just get real comfortable. Breathe in and breathe out. Picture yourself on the Klamath River. Maybe you're in a boat. Maybe you're on the shore. You're comfortable. There's nothing to do. You just witness. And let me tell you a story. In Yurok, there is a myth. The sun and the moon are lovers. The dawn is their favorite time because they are together in the sky. The new day is their baby. It is a gift to us. That is why it is called the present. We must be thankful for the present, to honor the sun and the moon and the power of love. We will forgive the past by giving up hope that it could have been different. We will let go of the burden of the past. This allows new space in our hearts and in our minds for new energy and new ideas that lead to a new future. In this new space, I want all of us to be in the present, full of gratitude for the opportunity to gather here today to discuss and learn how we will collectively renew the world, a new future. So breathe it in. Yeah. Ooh, I felt that up here. All right, and breathe it out. Whew. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all how we did it. Are you guys ready? All right, here's some dams. Okay, there they are. So between June 2023 and September 2024, we removed these 4 dams. After 100 years of these dams blocking the lifeblood of my people and the indigenous peoples on the Klamath River, the river flowed once again. Thank you. Yes, next slide. We made the river into this. This is what it looks like now. Yeah, and this is just the beginning. So through dam removal, we removed over 441 feet of steel, rock, concrete, clay, rebar. With Iron Gate Dam alone, 100 million cubic yards of dam material was removed in 25,000 truckloads with 40 yards holding capacity. The material that once blocked the river's flow was recycled, returned to the earth, or repurposed. In October of 2024, the leader of the fall Chinook salmon run was spotted on sonar technology passing the Iron Gate Dam site. By November, thousands of salmon had gone past the former dam sites for the first time in 100 years. And they spawned. yes. Woo, I love this. Okay. In June 2024, 2,800 acres around the former Copco 1 and 2 dams were returned to the Shasta tribe, the area's original inhabitants. 20,000 acres in the former hydroelectric project area will be restored through multi-million-dollar restoration projects. In the former dam reservoir reach area, over 19 billion with a B, native seeds have been planted and hundreds of thousands of trees and shrubs. Dam removal was completed on time, within budget, and consistent with the terms of their permits. And with their removal, the river began to heal instantly. I mean, look at its glory. Restoring balance in the lifeways of those dependent upon its vitality. The magnitude of this work is impossible to describe in words. So, although it won't do it total justice, I have a short clip, and it has explosions. All right, yeah. It's real. It's real. It's all real. Yes. So I will never forget watching the river reconnect. On a very cold September morning last year, we gathered at the base of the former Iron Gate Dam with my sister, friends, and colleagues, and we watched as an excavator scooped up some of the final remains of the dam. And with each scoop, we saw from behind the dam just little sparkles of water, and another scoop, and more water, and another scoop, and more water. And eventually, the water behind the dam flowed over and reconnected with itself below the dam. Yeah, the river was free. And I cried. I cried because my ancestors had fought for this moment. My colleagues, friends, and I had fought and sacrificed for this moment. And I like to think that the emotion I was experiencing was the release of the intergenerational trauma that had been, suffered by my family since colonization. And then there was this deep sense of healing. I thought, if this river, my ancient relative, can heal, so can I, and so can humanity. We just need to follow the river's lead. So, while there is still more work to do, for now, we will rest briefly, knowing the world is renewing herself before our eyes, and may we all be a witness. So, a couple lessons learned. The Klamath dams embodied the legacy of the dark underbelly of the founding of this country that supported the colonization and industrialization of nature at the expense of Indigenous peoples, the environment, and marginalized communities. The ecological consequences of colonization, while devastating, need not be permanent. Dam removal sends a clear message. Indigenous rights, leadership, and lifeways are not obstacles to progress. They are critical tools to sustaining Earth on life. Yeah. And we can no longer afford to destroy Indigenous rights and their resources in service of power and money, in part because over 80% of the world's remaining biodiversity is on Indigenous lands. Yeah. The Yurok and Karuk, along with the other Indigenous peoples in the Klamath Basin, were guided through dam removal by the worldview that supported world renewal by restoring balance between nature and humans. Since time immemorial, the river and its creatures have supported us, and we have the great privilege of being their beneficiary. But that comes with a corresponding duty to steward and protect the river. We exercised our responsibilities with strategic precision. History, precedent, money, power, and time were all against us. One of the richest men in the world, Warren Buffett, who owned the dams, was against us. We failed over and over again. Yet somehow we prevailed. In using this example, we can see that the overall health of our nation and our people and our ecosystems can be uplifted, and that allowing more voices and perspectives to contribute to our democracy is not only good for people, but also the planet and business. Thank you. Indeed, working together with our allies, there was not one single champion of Klamath dam removal. Instead, there were hundreds of champions working in big and small ways over 20 years towards dam removal, proving that what you do matters and how you use your life force makes a difference. Klamath dam removal has already proven that nature-based solutions work and are profitable. We brought over $515 million into our community, into the local economy. And notably, our strongest partners were not federal agencies, and we didn't use federal funding for dam removal, which demonstrates that it's possible to accomplish these types of goals with little federal support. Yeah. So more good is on the way. We will continue to work. My nonprofit, Ridges to Riffles Indigenous Conservation Group, will continue to work with our partners to bring more water to the river. My book, The Water Remembers, I hope will come out in October, and I hope it will continue to tell the story. And here's my big closing point. Already, there are plans for Indigenous youth, including my niece, Kia Wiki, to make the first ascent in a kayak. Yeah. Yes, yeah. And she, along with my 3 boys, will be the first generation of my family since colonization with the privilege to simply enjoy a healthy river and not have to fight. Yeah. This is freedom, and that is a pathway to peace. And having witnessed this historic effort, I believe that all of us have ancestral knowledge in our blood about what it was like to live on a healthy planet. And that medicine is still in me, in you, it's in all of us. And whatever your project is, whatever your it is, together we can restore the balance and we can renew the world. Walk loud, walk loud, walk loud. Thank you.